Okay, let us remember that the morning session is primarily for the purpose of each of us to learn how to do a daily practice. If we feel that wisdom, emptiness, bodhicitta, these were something which are very precious and would be good, helpful for one's own well-being in this life, and the life has come short term, long term, and for which we need to do things or in a properly planned way. That is the daily practice, taking dose of medicine of this. If you learn this, that will be very helpful. So this for this reason that we are doing this morning practice. Otherwise, at one point, the when the classes, when the retreat sessions were very intense, I thought that they maybe for retreatants as well as for myself to take little one session gap would be good. And then later on, I continuously get the feedback from the participants that after all these retreats, we learn about these things. We come to know a little bit about the importance of these and how to carry forward, how to take this forward, how should I do it, how to do this practice, how. So then again, I felt the need for to do this. So this just for that purpose, not as a part of the retreat, not necessarily as a part of the retreat, just for the retreatants to learn how to do your own daily. And then I noticed that many from the retreats, all these many years, the retreats, and now it's almost like 10, 12 retreats every year. So these retreats from the people who took part in the retreat, many people they then move, move meaning they adopt this as their daily practice, and it's very encouraging. So it's finally for one's own well-being. Okay, so with this in mind, um, setting up proper motivation, which consists of three parts. And of course, all these description explanations are there in the book, The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhicitta. It's already ready made there, but let us finally learn it ourselves. Setting proper motivation, which consists of three parts. First, a refuge field. Visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and all the beings, all the enlightened masters who are the source of inspiration for you with respect to compassion, and with respect to generating universal compassion and the wisdom to see the interdependency. And how you visualize them is that they are seen to be as extremely loving, caring, embracing, and towards you. And Bodhicitta field, visualize your two grandparents and all of them members, including children and all of their messenger beings. And how you visualize them, that you are like the mother and all others are like children, and that you look at them with so much love, affection, attention, and care. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken your Buddha nature and eventually to to become independent of the external factors. No matter what external factors arise you encounter with, that you are not affected. Your peace of mind is forever guaranteed. The fear is all dropped and your happiness expands to infinity. So that's the purpose. And for that matter, when you invoke, finally, we all these many days, we come to learn that it is through invoking this wisdom that this Buddha nature will be awakened through separating this Buddha nature from mental defilements. And this wisdom must be complemented by a very powerful driving force, which is the bodhicitta, the desire to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And this bodhicitta, to generate this bodhicitta, we must that must be preceded by renunciation, the desire to get away from miseries yourself. So with this in mind, let us turn to page 3 and imagining that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje joda zoge jo namda chanjo bardo tane gyapsu che tage jinso gebe sonamge jola benjir sanje jubara isho sanje joda soge Dane yasu che tage jinso kebe sonam ye dola benjire zanje dubara isho zanje joda zoge jo namda chanjo bardo dane yasu che tage jinso kebe sonam ye dola benjire zanje dubara isho. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the. Okay, if you the with me with this the book the Blaze that the Blaze the red book, it is on page 5. It's on page 5. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead here seeking pacification and complete peace, which through the knowledge of paths, causes souls helping migrate to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subdue and expand a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sukhat and protector, to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. The essence of dependent origin mantra. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham datha gato hyavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vate mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham datha gato hyavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vate mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetum te sham datha gato hyavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vate mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration free, clear light and non-composite, such as the nectar dharma I've discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I'll return to words. Beyond our trends, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas, of the three times obeisance. The four seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dhamma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you, kindly remain give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the light of Dharma, for all bewildered miseries glow. Instructions on departing from the four attachments. If attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. And with respect to the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, when we read this, it's not that you praise the Buddha and the Buddha is very happy and blesses you. This is not the idea. Whether you praise it, whether you praise the Buddha or not, there's no difference to the Buddha. The way, in the manner in which a small child, a young child, whether you praise the mother or the father, mother or not, there's no difference. Mother loves you unconditionally. But then why we are doing this is when we praise somebody, we praise with qualities, identifying that you have these qualities, and the so this should be the inspiration for yourself. I too just see if you have some of these qualities, if not full, partly. Just if you have some of these qualities. If you have, rejoice that these are the qualities which the Buddha has, and I too have some of these qualities, so I need to nurture them further. This is how I become Buddha, to learn from that the presence of these qualities in the Buddha. If I don't have it, don't worry. You have the Buddha nature. You have these seed, these qualities in the form of seeds, in the form of Buddha nature. So look, these are the qualities with which somebody becomes a Buddha. So I too have the Buddha nature. I too have the seeds of these qualities. I need to nurture them and try to bring them in my mind because the seeds are there. Bring them, cultivate them, and then nurture them and eventually become Buddha for the benefit of yourself and all others. So this is how we have to recite this. Okay. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, to the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the full destroyer, the completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born in this earth, you paced our seven strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the three worlds, win of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Does feel like you, the three worlds are not, incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees from attachment, the virtue that frees from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, wholly feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this man's may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the four falls, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, battered by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, page 29, Heart Sutra. The Heart Sutra, the Perfection Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Tubal gem. And thus did I hear at one time the Buddha was dwelling on Mansavalcha's mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of Bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also, at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice activity with profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness of form, empty is not other than form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unseen, stainless, not without a stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no observed touch, and no phenomenon. There's no I element and so on up to and including include no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There's no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering or origination cessation path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, the Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond era, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Theata Om Gade Gade Bara Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from their concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice a profound professional wisdom just as you've indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharitvatiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha by the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing power of truth. May inner and outer hindrance be transformed. May they be dispelled. May they be non-existent. May they be pacified. May all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. 8 verses of Train the Mind, page 35. 8 verses for Train the Mind, page 35. By Geshe Langletongpa. With the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, I hold them dear for their aid to find as if I've discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I've helped or in whom I've placed great hopes mistakes me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all the hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the eight mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all these as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my two collections, vast as space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the sheet leading Buddha for all those whose minds minds blinded by ignorance. Okay, seventh practice. Except from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration, the practice of Samadhi. I bow down to the useful Arya Manjushri, you the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, God of freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With an energy aspiration for the Bodhisattvas way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualize as real, I bow down. On every particle of Buddha's numberless as particles, each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugadas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense are offered to you victorious ones of Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array offered to victorious ones. But transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these are openly laid bare before you. I lift my heart, rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training in those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stage of awakening, all you who are wise, my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you, who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for eons numberless atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering, and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, are now dedicated all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, material offering. Okay. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajib Sanje Shendo Me De Bhuvaye 조근남다 신라의 주마라의 쇼. The four Dhammas of Venerable Gambobha. May be blessed that my mind is directed towards Dharma. May be blessed that my Dharma practice is on the proper path. May be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The four Dhammas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva, becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps true existence. Please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality. On a base of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of non-duality, bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Rana Mandala Amen. Okay, next, page 42. The foundation of all good qualities, Palama Songapa. This is a roadmap to enlightenment. And yes, as a part of this practice, and when you're on your own, this is something that we must include somehow to with just 14 verses and everything's included. There's a constant reminder within us, and then in this life later when you become more aware, then you may, because of this, you may feel the importance of emptiness, bodhicitta, and all these things. So there's something to hold on to and then expand further. And in the next slides also, the the rebirth concept, while it seems little they obscured, but in reality, I would say that the is if we study a little bit about the mind, we see the rebirth is not that difficult. So once you get a little confidence from the point of view of how we conduct in this life, then we can extend to the next life. We see that it's very important for us to prepare for the next lives. Okay. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous garments follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate the strong wish for the bliss of liberation. That by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, great caution arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I fall in use of samsara, so fall my individual beings. Please bless me to see this, train in Supreme Bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I've developed bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I've pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of Karma abiding in special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the true attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and bless my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice every long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and the paths. May could attain the state of Vajradhara. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, district of hosts of demons without exception, Sankaba, crown jewel of the sages of the Rendered Snows, Losantaba, at your feet and make prostrations. Mil me sava ta ja cha re se tra me ken be won bo jam be Anjan keme tsoye tsongkaba lo san tabe sham la so wa de me me sa te je je re se te me ken be bon bo jam be yang Hanjen keme tsoye tsongkaba lo san tabe sham la so ba de me me za te je je re se te me ken be won bo jam be yang Anjen ke be zo ye zo ga ma no san ta be sha la so wa de You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, disturb hosts with demons without exception, Sankaba, crown jewel of the sage of the land of snows, Alosantaba at your feet and make prostrations. Okay, now the actual practice generated the amount of consummate yoga, which consists four parts. Anyone who remembers what the four parts are? Anyone who remembers the four parts? Shrikant? No. Kokil? You don't. Oh, c'est là. Okay. Okay. Angela, four parts, remember? Say it again. Say it all four. Wonderful. Amazing. Okay. So, order wise, shamatha. Shamatha means single point of meditation. Okay. So, basically, order wise, the shamatha you can place it last or front is fine. Shamatha is just to stabilize the stability practice. Whereas the other three, the order is better to place the order like this: renunciation, bodhicitta, and emptiness. Whereas some people also place it like emptiness first, then renunciation, bodhicitta. Renunciation, bodhicitta, these two, the order must be renunciation, first, bodhicitta. Why? Because that to generate bodhicitta, renunciation must be generated before that. Whereas emptiness, wisdom of emptiness, it can come before. For some intelligent people, wisdom of emptiness comes first, then renunciation, bodhicitta. Whereas for others, renunciation, bodhicitta, and then wisdom and emptiness. And shamatha is up to you. So here we do first. We do first, and others keep it last. It's up to the individual. Are you ready? 5 minutes. Okay, next, renunciation. And the renunciation, we do it based on the four seals, which the Buddha himself directly taught. And there are other manuals of meditation on renunciation, like the four reflections, like the Lamrim teachings. There are many of them there, but they're all based on the in Tibet. Most of them are based on the Lama Adisha's book. The we we call it Lamdun, the path to enlightenment. No, the light. The what is that? The lamp of God enlightenment. Yes, Lamdun. And so the Tibetan tradition is mainly based on this, whereas the Pali traditions, and of course the Lamdun, again based on the Buddha's own teachings, the four seals. And the Pali tradition, Theravada tradition, is directly into the the, the Pali literature taught by the Buddha. So, so given that in Tibetan there are many traditions, you can do any of them is fine. So the four seals, which is directly taught by the Buddha, this is what I prefer to do, particularly in group. It's easy, and also it's something and the uniform, common to all the Buddhist traditions. Okay, ready? And then while I give the instructions, try to remember what are the points that I'm indicating, what are the reasons that I'm indicating, although it's just the four seals, but how the four seals are connected, how to contemplate each of the points, that's very important. Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce the miseries. It is not to renounce the happiness, it's to renounce the miseries. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of the miseries. And the causes of the miseries, the Buddha indicated, Ye dharma hetu prabhava, hetum desham tathagoto hyavatat. Are Nagarjuna expanded it or enumerated them in great detail in his text Mul Madhyamaka Karika, or the fundamental wisdom of the middle way, or in Tibetan Sawashirab, where he said, ceasing from karma's afflictions is nirvana. Karma's afflictions arise from conceptualization, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance, and the elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. And this the Buddha finally identified the ignorance as the root of all the miseries. And the ignorance is of various levels, and Buddha identified four of them out of many, the four which are primarily are related to our miseries. And the four misconceptions or the four kinds of ignorance are misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent, misconceiving miseries as happiness, misconceiving impure things as pure, and misconceiving what is selfless nature is of selfhood. To eradicate these four misconceptions or the kinds of ignorance, the Buddha taught the four seals. The first seal, all composite things impermanent. The composite things which are composed of material parts and temporal parts, which are composed of these paths should necessarily be impermanent nature. And impermanence is of two kinds: the gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. And it's so important for us to begin with the gross impermanence, where the continuum of the object terminates. For example, we have many friends and the family members at one point in time, and now many of them are gone. And you, once upon a time, you were a little child with no sense of responsibility, and all the responsibility, everything about you is taken care of by your parents. And now is that those beautiful days all gone, and beautiful moments, birthday celebrations, picnics, family gatherings, and so forth. What happened in the past, they're all gone. And beautiful sunset we observed is also gone. And are coming together day one of being in Buddha, and the succeeding day is so beautiful, extremely serene ambience. Now it's time for us to disperse. This is what the Buddha indicated as all gatherings, all gatherings end up into separation. And all accumulations ends with exhaustion. All what is born dies. This is reality. And failing to discover, failing to be aware of this reality, we live in the ignorance is bliss. The moment we are struck with this reality in its bare form, we are shocked. That's too late. Wise people will not wait till the situation arises. They can foresee that and plan accordingly so that you are not shocked and that your journey is well planned and smooth, and that you go towards happiness and fearlessness. So, and this gross impermanence should necessarily, the change that you see over the span of 1 year, 10 years is possible only if the change is happening on the yearly basis, which in turn is possible if there is change happening on the monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis, millisecond by millisecond basis. So, in short, all the composite phenomena that we encounter with, that we, our own bodies, your family members, the house that you live in, the car that you use, the road that you use, all composite things are impermanent. And these all are marked by the transitoriness, which is the subtle impermanence. And you reducing this impermanent phenomena from the wide range of existing in the wide range of time, like 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, so forth, and then gradually reduce to the millisecond level, we see that if all composite phenomena, they're moving so fast, move so fast. It's like the train moving so fast. In a daily basis, we don't see that because our mind is so gross that it cannot see that. It's so obscure, gross, limited. Now with these contemplations, we see that yes, all composite phenomena are moving so fast, so instantaneously they move. Yes. Just imagine that you are a stranger, picks you up and throws you in a very fast moving train. What do you feel? Very scared. Why? Because we don't know where this train is taking us. This is exactly what happens to us. That we are as well like in the train of your body, in the train of this world, in the train of the fast moving train of your family, the family house, and so forth. And where is this train going? Who decides? Is decided by the train driver. If the train driver is your mother, no doubt it'll take you to the picnic spot. But if the train driver is the terrorist or is under the dictate of the terrorist, no doubt it'll take you to only to the slaughterhouse. In our case, our mind is a twin driver. While the mind per se is neutral, the true nature of the mind is so beautiful, but the mind per se is neutral, yet it is under the dictate of the two demons, two terrorists, self grasping ignorance, complemented by self centered attitude. As long as our mind is dictated by the contaminations, worst of which is self-grasping ignorance, when complemented with self-centered attitude, it'll only take us to miseries. Miseries like what? Suffering, suffering change, and the pervasive condition suffering. And when the Buddha taught that this is the truth of the suffering, the Buddha indicates, Buddha is referring to the most subtle one, pervasive condition suffering. At the same time, to realize, to reach to that level of the subtle recognition of the evilness of the pervasive condition suffering, we should have understood the evilness of the suffering change, for which we require to understand to have the evilness of this suffering. Yes. And in a life, one moment of such a tragic incident is good enough to nullify all the past experiences of joy, happiness, birthday celebration, festivities, and so forth. One moment just good enough to nullify, to see the whole world is so gloomy, dark, and hopeless. Yes, this is exactly what happens. This is what the Buddha indicated as all contaminated things are self nature. Yes, I understand it. Is there a way out? What is the way out? 2020, 2024. It came to an end on its own. Our youth came to an end on its own. And when will these miseries stop? Unfortunately, they will never stop on their own. But it is not that they will never come to an end, but they can be brought to an end provided with a sort of very powerful the remedy. What kind of remedy? Yes, it entirely depends on nature of the stain and root of the stains, root of mental defilements, and the root of the miseries is self-grasping ignorance. How to exterminate this self-grasping ignorance? By introducing a very powerful remedy. What is that? The wisdom of emptiness. What is this wisdom? Wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with reality. What's the reality? Reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is in nature, emptiness, selflessness. Okay, today we'll meditate on the emptiness of the self, yourself. Even you are like illusion. But it's not that you don't exist, you do exist. Some people say, oh, the Buddha rejected self. This is the naivety. Buddha did not reject self. There's a self. Buddha did not reject the self, but the the say not only confound to self, everything else, everything exists, but they don't exist objectively. Objective existence of the self is rejected, not the self. So with this mind, well, let's going to see that believing the self to be objective real, believing things are objective real, that is the root of all the miseries. And now we're going to analyze if the self, yesterday we did with the flower, and today we do with the self, because the self is always involved with a sense of self, is always involved with any form of problems. So this weather doesn't suit me. This neighbor is so bad to me, and my family is there not listening to me, and my families are suffering. My families are suffering, and the that I have this problem. He's nasty to me. So it's all about the self, self, self. We're seeing this self as so object real. That's a problem. That's the problem creator. So let us see how the self, whether or not the self, they exist the way it appears to us as subject real. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. What is your body doing? My body is in meditative posture. And this self, how does this self appear to you? Like a dream that your mind is projecting itself, or the so solidified, objectified self there? Of course, so solidified, objective self there. This belief that self exists objective, so solidified, objectified, this belief is known as self-grasping ignorance. And this root of our problems. How do you know that this is ignorance? This is not a valid mind. Remember what Nagarjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, one not those close by the mirage see water. With a similar tone of reasoning, if this self who identifies as I would exist objectively, why don't I see this as self as I go closer to the object? Okay, now let us go closer to the object. The mind which goes closer to the object is known as ultimate analysis. Mind which sees the self, mind which sees the self as working in the world, attending retreat and doing own practices and going around. This mind is known as conventional analysis. The self does exist in the eyes of conventional analysis, but it does not exist in the eyes of ultimate analysis. So, okay, now let us examine if it does exist in the eyes of ultimate analysis. The way Arjuna taught, if the mirage were to be water, one know those close by the mirage see water. Okay, now going closer towards the object, to see if this self exists as object real. Okay, you end up seeing a very thin layer of the skin. Behind that, the fatty tissues. Behind that, the muscles, the cartilages, whole skeleton, the heart, the lungs, the liver, and all the solid parts constitute element of earth. And all, of course, this self is not identified as objectively as the element earth. Now, element of water, 4 liters of blood, which is pumped in and out by the heart to the different parts of the body. Of course, that is not to be identified as this self, objective as the self. Element of fire, 2000, 2500 joules of energy. And of course, that is not to be identified as intrinsically as the self. Element of air, 4.6 liters of the air that you breathe in and out through our lungs. And of course, that is not about identified as intrinsic as the self. Okay, what is that now? Space. 99.99% of our body is vacuum. And of course, I'm not vacuum. I'm not a space. I'm not a vacuum. But I'm a solid person. So therefore, even this space is not about identified as intrinsic as the self. What is that now? My mind, my consciousness is that. If this consciousness is not me, because the consciousness, I'm a male, I'm a female, my consciousness does not have the gender. Gender is posited on the basis of my body. So even this consciousness, and also that people can see me, people cannot see my consciousness, people cannot see my mind. Yes, now this is it. What you identify as I is nothing but made of these 6 components. And none of these 6 components to be identified as the intrinsic as the self. If you're very sure of this, stay in this experience for a while. Yes, I'm sure. And earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. None of this is to be identified as this I. If not, then remove these 6 elements and see if the self exists as differently from these 6 elements. Remove 6 elements, what happens? The self is totally gone, non-existent. Okay, so from this way, you see the self is not intrinsic one with the parts, no different from the parts. Now from the object, where is the self? No way to be seen. Stay in this experience for a while. This is so precious, so profound. And for some of you, a tinge of a fear can come. For some, goosebumps, cold waves can flow through your body. For some, an extremely serene, tranquil feeling can come to the core of your heart. If any of these indications come, you are very fortunate, you're very meritorious. If not, don't worry. Study more, contemplate more, and these experiences are bound to happen. Yes, this experience is so beautiful and so profound. But what's the benefit of this practice? Yes, just as the self when subjected to the ultimate analysis, it is proven to be empty of objective reality. It's like a dream, all coming from the subject, not from the object. Okay, now think of the miseries, mental miseries, stress, anxiety, anguish, sorrows, mental disturbance. when we subject them to the same analysis, ultimate analysis, just as self disappears to be empty of object reality, all these miseries, sorrows, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, loneliness, everything and so forth, they'll also go into the thin air of the emptiness of object reality. They also disappear. Wow, amazing. Your sorrow is transcended. When the sorrow is transcended, absolute peace dawns in you. That absolute peace. Just stay in this experience of absolute peace with experience of emptiness and generate a very strong wish, aspiration. May I experience this emptiness where all my miseries are transcended. This is what the Buddha indicated as the fourth seal. Transcendent sorrow is absolute peace. Oh, amazing. This is renunciation. To understand renunciation, slowly come out of this practice, take a few seconds break to move to the next practice, which is bodhicitta. Are you ready? Good. On bodhicitta. On bodhicitta, the last few days I've been constantly telling you that there are two methods. So when 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 I do my own practice on bodhicitta, I do both the methods. First the simple method, and then the method of realization, the self-others. I do both in a single sitting. But I would say that I would not recommend doing both in one sitting for you. What you can do is that you can first we have to learn what are these steps. First, alternate between the two methods, and then with your own experience, the reason why I'm saying this, not to recommend doing the two methods in one sitting, is because is number one is very time taking. Number two is very the energy draining because you contemplate, it drains your energy, and at a certain point you feel that you feel that this all just mechanical steps, no feelings generated. You'll feel that you can feel so demoralized, and then one after other, the first step mechanical, second step, first method you feel mechanical, second method again you feel mechanical. So that way, when the hopelessness builds up, you feel demoralized. So therefore it'll take time. What we suggest is just alternate between the two methods, and over time, with your own experience, you see that, okay, now I can do both the methods simultaneously in one sitting. Then do that. But you must be wise to say that this should not make you stop the practice altogether. Okay, so, but in group, usually I do the four immeasurables. So let's do that, the four immeasurables, supplemented by the Bodhicitta generation. Okay, this bodhicitta practice is something which we have never done in the past lives, and requires a lot of these support, blessings, and inspirations. And for the inspirations, visualize all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, and today we have His Holiness the Dalai Lama as embodiment of compassion. Just visualize all these enlightened masters, like your parents, who feel so proud that you, for the first time in your life, you are performing you are making a public appearance on behalf of your school. And your parents are so proud. This is exactly what all the Bodhisattvas are feeling, and you can likewise visualize in the same way. And you, as a little girl, little boy, very responsible child, you bring your old siblings with you to do the same virtuous good thing. So with this in mind, first, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. And the causes of happiness primarily consisting of the wisdom of empty, the most fearless wisdom of the emptiness, and the most beautiful mind of the Bodhisattva. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, that like the mother, after all these many years of raising her children, today, for the first time, this little girl, you as a little girl or a little boy, age 12 or age 11, come to the mother, tell the mother, Mother, please take rest. You've done everything for us. We're already grown up. We'll take care of ourselves and all our siblings. And the mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears. She was so proud. This is exactly what happens to all the Bodhisattvas. They feel so proud of you taking the responsibility for all the sentient beings. This pride and happiness the Bodhisattvas feel invoke their compassionate minds to send for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all the sentient beings. Their mere touch realize the nectars with the body speaks to yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness in the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dim sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of the suffering? Causes of suffering primarily consist of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you making such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectars of soothing lights towards you and all sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the body speaks to yours, washes away all the miseries and the causes of miseries from the dear sentient beings to yourself. And you witness such a miracle is happening to us, to all the dear sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with the relief. Immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dim sentient beings are never separated from happiness and cause the happiness that they're endowed with. May all my dim sentient beings never be separated from happiness and cause the happiness that they're endowed with. I will take the responsibility that all my dim sentient beings are never separated from happiness and cause the happiness that they're endowed with. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness and proud of you, this pride and happiness invoke the compassionate minds to send forth nectars very soothing lights towards you and all ultimate sentient beings, thereby stabilizing the happiness and the cause of happiness that the beings endowed with. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the dimensional beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Finally, immeasurable equanimity. May how good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other sentient beings equally, leaving none aside. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. I'll take the responsibility that all my demon sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a rich commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to the center of nectars of sweet light to you and all demon sentient beings. They may touch the lesser nectars, but the Bodhisattva makes yours. Frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead making them abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other demonstration beings equally, living them aside. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all your demonstration beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Underscoring all the 5 vegetables is unconditional love. Abide is the unconditional love for a while. Imagine that you're looking at the eyes of each human beings with so much love and affection to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. With this as the foundation for a Bodhisattva practice, let us, with folded hands, let us make a Bodhisattva commitment 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Slowly transform this incredibly beautiful mind of Bodhicitta, this most appealing mind that possibly exists in the entire universe. And today you've generated this. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotless, clean, the moon disk, 1 inch or 2 inches in diameter, moon disk at your heart. It's amazing that we made such courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all demonstration beings. But remember that no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. What makes you think that with effort you become a Buddha? Yes, I have the Buddha nature within me. I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm like a full handful of sunflower seeds. I do have the seed of Buddhahood of the Buddha nature. Okay, if it is there, why not? Since time immemorial till now, this Buddha nature is never awakened, never activated. Now, what makes you think that this can be activated now after all this innumerable, infinite times? Yes, till today, I'm being deceived in the 2 demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. These two have been always, always obscuring this Buddha nature. And today, for the first time, I'm disillusioned by these 2 demons. I'm going to do everything to exterminate the 2 demons. What am I going to do? I'm going to introduce a very powerful remedy. What is that? The non-dual wisdom of emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas. What is that like? Let's quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness which we meditated upon as the third seal of the third of the four seals. Okay, let's quickly think of the self. How does self appear to exist? As objective real or like a dream? Of course, as objective like a dream, as objectively. This is self-grasping ignorance. And how to know that this ignorance is not a wisdom? Yes, remember what Nagarjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? With a similar tone reasoning, if the self were to exist subjectively, why don't I see the self as I go closer to the object? Okay, not let us subject this self to ultimate analysis by going closer to the object. By going closer to the object, we end up seeing the six elements. Element earth, sort of part of the body, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. Now tell me, which of the six elements is to be identified as intrinsically subjective as the self, yourself? None. If not, then see if this self still exists objectively as different from the six elements. Remove the six elements, what happens? Nothing is left there, self disappears. Okay, from the object now, where is the self? None. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, now slowly transform. This mind is the most fearless mind in this whole universe. Slowly transform this fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness which you have generated and transform this into a spotless, clean, thumb size white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moon disk of the heart. Wow, this is amazing. You have the moon, symbolic of the convention bodhicitta, which guarantees to get rid of all the self-centered attitude, and a Vajra symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta, which is non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas, which will guarantee to exterminate all the mental defilements, be it reflective or cognitive obscurations. Yes, but I'm very fortunate. But what about your two parents and all of your members, your children, all such beings, they're suffering terribly out all of their ignorance. Generate very strong compassion for them. Okay. What is this compassion that you've generated invokes the Vajramuni of the heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one set of Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, one set with your father, one set with each one of our members, including children, one with each of the beings here in Buddhapata, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddess spirits, and particularly the staff here, all the staff here, and all the dogs, cats, animals, and all the beings in the world, in the oceans, in the forests, and all the beings in the Milky Way galaxy, and all the beings in the entire universe. Wow, that's amazing. You've been so kind. You shared this precious moon with the ultimate source of benefit, the hidden treasure, with all the demonstration beings. So precious, so amazing, so generous, so kind. Let's not forget that all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas they're watching us. Why not we invite all Buddhas Bodhisattvas to be the witness as well as a guest to our undertaking the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. As a gesture making this request to all Buddhas Bodhisattvas, we slowly stand up along with all demonstration makes to make three prostrations to all Buddhas Bodhisattvas. Okay, see if you can sit on your right knees. Page 50. Okay. So as always, just since that you've already invited all Bodhisattvas, like your parents, just imagine that you're a little girl, little boy, for the first time in your life, as age 4, age 5. For the first time in your life, you have made a public appearance on behalf of your school. And your parents, on that day, whatever they have to do, they just leave behind everything to join the audience, waving their hands to support you, to give moral support, and they feel so proud of what you're doing today. And you, as a little girl or a little boy, as a very responsible child, you bring with you all your siblings to take part in the same program. And this is exactly what is happening today. All the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, like your parents, they're so proud. As you have requested, they come here paying full attention to what you're doing and feeling so proud of you. And you, as a responsible, like the little girl, little boy, you bring along with you all the German sentient beings to take this aspiration Bodhisattva vow so that our Buddha nature, the secret hidden treasure within us, will be awakened fully. And everybody, the as you have taken the initiative, inspired, everybody feels so inspired to join you. So with this mind, let us recite the following verses together by contemplating on meanings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta and Lavashala to successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta and Lavashala to successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta and Lavashala to successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. You're extremely, extremely fortunate and meritorious. And just imagine that what you did today as a little girl, little boy, your parents, your mother, particularly your mother, after all these many years of receiving complaint from your school principal, and today when the school principal, escorted by the teachers, they come. Again, the mother is apprehensive. What kind of complaint? School principal said, no, 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 we came here to congratulate you. What for? That your daughter and your son, two of them are appointed as the best students of the school for this year. The mother could not believe her eyes and ears. Is it true? All these many years I've been hearing complaints. Hello, 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 hello. And today, they, your mother felt so proud that she's hearing something very different from the school principal. And this problem happened. This is exactly what has happened to all Bodhisattvas. Just imagine that all these innumerable lifetimes since Bangladesh time till today, the Bodhisattvas, they've been always expecting that we don't suffer, that we don't engage in negativities, and that we're free from suffering. On the contrary, we always engage in the negativities and continuously suffer. Likewise, they always expect to be engaged in virtues and have abundance of happiness. But on the contrary, we always damage our virtues and we remain forever, remain deprived of the happiness. But today, what you did is very different. Buddhist Bodhisattva, they feel so happy and proud of you today. That happiness, joy, invoke the Vajra moon at the hearts of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas like rain shower, they descend to the multiply, they descend to merge with the one that you visualize in the heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all the replicas of Vajramoon from Buddhist Bodhisattvas, like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that you visualize in the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of your family members, including children, and each of sentient beings in the entire universe, including all the tiny, tiny, tiny insects, tiny, tiny, tiny worms, unicellular organisms like amoeba, to the blue whales, from the tiny insects to the elephants and so forth in the entire universe. Everyone the Vajramat that you have shared with them, they're being blessed by the shower of the Vajramoon from Buddhist Bodhisattvas, become non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Wow, this is amazing. This is something which we never expected before. And so wonder is happening. And this is the greatest of the gift that you can possibly think of making to all the demon sentient beings. And today you have done it. Today you have gifted them with this gift. And for the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, the greatest offering that you can think of, the Buddha made it very clear, one moment of practicing compassion, one moment of compassion far excels the gift, the whole universe filled with diamonds, the jewels, and so forth, and offered to Buddhist Bodhisattvas. If this were to be the case, what I mentioned for our having taken the aspiration Bodhisattva today is amazing. It's the greatest gift that the offering that we made to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas and of your life. There's nothing more meaningful than what you did today. And today you've given such a meaning to your life. And all these wonders are happening because of the blessings of the world Buddhist Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking them, let us slowly stand up along with all demonstration beings to make three prostrations to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay, please take your seats. Okay, next, page 51. That we continue to meet with these practices in the future lives as well, so that our journey to enlightenment will be very smooth. Let's include this as part of prayer for that matter. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, Those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha and now in one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unstudied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise, by some coincidence, an awakening mind has been born within me. Is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereign death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is a tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is a universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that expels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is a great sun that finally removes the mystic ignorance of the world. It is the conditional butter from the churn of the middle of the Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors and of the world to be guests at a festival of temperate and ultimate delight, may gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, dedication prayer. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes planted by ignorance. Okay, we'll recite the hearts, we'll recite the Buddha Shakyamuni praise. Yes, the handout. Okay, you have the handout. Abge tuje shaye rizo chon shenge meto dege bonjom serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye gebo de la cha se lo oh mone Mahamona Yeswam Om Mone Mahamona Yeswam Abge tuje shaye reso chon shenye meto dege bonjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ku shaye gebo yala cha se no oh mone Mahamona Yeswa Om Mone Mahamona shageri zu chon shenge me tu de ge bon jambon sergelum bo tabu cebe koy şaye gebo kela çaselo oh mone mone Mahamona Yeswaha Om 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 Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswaha. Okay, three persuasions together.